Yeah, I'm super excited to be here. I know the work that Apollo are doing with the Road To Old Trafford. I think it's a great opportunity for these guys to really showcase the talents, and Apollo have given them a platform to follow the dreams, and that dream is hopefully playing at Old Trafford. And it's amazing to come down and get a taste of the culture, to see these players close and personal, and hopefully watch one of the team progress to the final and see them at Old Trafford in June.
Rohit, anything else?
How do you feel about our Indian football players?
Yeah, I think that like I said before, what Apollo are doing is giving these players a platform to showcase the talent on a better level. And I think by doing that and seeing these little programs all over India, I think then hopefully in 10 years' time, because it will be a long process, but hopefully over time you'll see these players grow, and hopefully you'll see them in England, in the leagues in England, and that's got to be the goal, that's got to be the aim. And it might take 5 years, it might take 10 years, but while we're arranging these events like Apollo have put on, and allowing these players to showcase their ability and the talents, then hopefully slowly but surely we'll begin to see India football grow.
Your tips about
Say that again, sorry.
The grassroots. So for us at Apollo Tyres, building a sports ecosystem is very important to drive performance in the country. And we have been putting up these pitches here, giving access to sport, AstroTurf pitches. And we have a program called United We Play as well, which takes talented youngsters from India. We reached out to over 30,000 youngsters last year, and we took 5 of them to Old Trafford and Carrington and had a training session with them there. In the past, we've had winners from Chennai. This year, we've got winners from the Northeast, from Punjab, from all across the country. And this is essentially, as Phil said, right, laying a platform for the future. These are the young kids who will grow into future professionals, and by exposing them to the football culture, the techniques and training at Manchester, we're just strengthening our ecosystem here. These are baby steps that we are doing in contributing to the ecosystem in India. And Road to Old Trafford is another level of that, right? It's for amateur footballers, maybe a long shot for them to live their dreams of playing professionally.
the amateur football players, where they are lagging, where they are in amazing?
I don't think it's not about lagging. It's about over a period of time, we have seen football in India develop, right? And the guys who are playing here, I won't say kids because all of them are 18 plus, the young adults who are playing here have probably just come a little late to the development of what has happened, to benefit from the development that has happened over the last few years in Indian football. So it's a process, there's nothing, it's all about timing and getting there at the right time.
I think when you see how big cricket is over here in the IPL is crazy. Even back home we see it is crazy. So it's how do we give these young players accessibility to pitches like this? How do we give them a chance to perform, to showcase their ability on a level, but not just once every month, like 3-4 times a week? How do we do that? How do we give them that? And I think slowly but surely, things like this, the Road to Old Trafford, I think all these little communities that we can build in India can surely, in the next 5-10 years, hopefully you'll be showcasing an Indian team that are competing at a higher level.
So nowadays, youngsters fully pledged in gadgets. They are not in physical activities. Your tips to them, advice to them.
Say that again, sorry.
So youngsters are all on their phones and into the gadgets.
Yeah.
What is your tips and advice to them?
Take them off them. It's difficult because the younger generation now, I think what we have to do is we have to adapt, of course, but we have to understand that it's a different culture now. It's a different generation. They all like their iPads, they all like their phones, They won't watch a full game of football now, or they won't watch a full game of cricket. What they'll do is they'll go on Twitter or Instagram and they'll look at the highlights in 30 seconds and see all the highlights. So how do we get them to watch the full game? How do we get them to engage properly? And I think by putting communities on like this, I think you've got and facilities, I think you've got a greater chance of attracting those young players.
Just to add to that, right? We all say that the kids are addicted to their mobile phones, right? And that's because we are giving them the phones at a very young age in their hands. It's our responsibility to get them addicted to sports. So get them out to play at a young age. Get them to the pitches, right? It's the parents' responsibility to get them out 2 pitches like this or to the playgrounds wherever and let them play football, running, cricket, whatever it is. But if you get them addicted to sport, then they'll stay addicted to sport. Like Phyllis told me how addicted he was and how driven and how focused he was from a very young age. So nothing could take him away from that. And that's what we need to do, right? We'd have to get them addicted at a very young age.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.